one thing that's really helped me is just trying to be still and thinking about how I view failure. I think our culture is very big at saying that when you fail, you fail. It's a bad thing. When
Yes.
in reality, I think failure are some of the greatest opportunities to develop strengths and to learn. And that all life is moving from failure to failure to failure till you find success. That is kind of what life is all about. So yeah, it's been a really good week for me. I have not been perfect, but I've been really grateful for what I have learned.
Yeah. And I always say progress, yes, perfect, no, right? It's not about making perfect or perfection. It's really just about trying to figure out what we learn from our mistakes or what we learn from our failures, quote, because I'm so sorry. My kids are so loud. You guys are so patient. They're headed up to the bath. Okay. They've had an exciting day. But no, I really appreciate that insight. It's been just really, really beautiful to kind of listen to your journey this week, and even just the energy of the Facebook group. I'm so in love with all the commentary there and the support. And I think that's really special. So thank you so much for sharing that. I know I was in the middle of saying something when I got disconnected though. It was about our bodies. So when you like go to bed at night, and we talked about how that's a restorative state for the body, your digestive system, it's like a reboot every morning, especially when you're taking that probiotic right before bed. So you have that 8-ounce glass of water, you lay down, your body for hopefully 7-8 hours gets to just heal itself. And all those living microorganisms, as they release in that supplement, they kind of go down into that hind gut where they're really needed, where it's a part of the body that just desperately needs attention, especially at the end of the day. And it's almost like, I mean, it's kind of like a cleanse at the end of every single day. This probiotic goes in there and just tears away at all that leftover bacteria and fungus and overgrowth of yeast and the villi that hang out, these like tentacles. There's trillions of them, and they hang out in your digestive tract, and they get stuff that just literally comes and mats itself in and just builds up over time. And a lot of us that carry some more weight gain in the center, what tends to happen is it's because the nutrition can't absorb within the lining of our stomach. And so what the probiotic does is it comes through and it just rips that lining out. So all the leftover stuff that's hanging out there gets cleaned out. And so I think the next question I want to ask, after there's someone else here besides Melissa, there's someone else here that's like a little phone down here. Does anybody know who that is? No. But
it might be Sherry.
Hi, Sherry. Is it you?
She's supposed to be on the call.
I think Chelsea, you've been on the probiotics since the beginning. Would you speak to that? Would you maybe give us a synopsis of maybe what the week has been like for you digestively?
Yeah. Well, and so this isn't my first rodeo. I'm learning so much, but I've had 2 instances in my life when I've worked really closely with food and adding supplements to help me be better. And I am just so surprised. I could tell that I was feeling better because my digestion was so much better. Like TMI, just regular, and I just felt, I can remember in the past, like I just knew I was healthy. Like my insides were happy. I don't know how else to say it. I just felt good, really, really good. So, but that took me a little while. I had to be pretty consistent with stuff for it was a couple months before I actually felt like, hey, I'm really feeling this. So it's different for everyone.
Yeah. So now you feel like you are like going regularly and things like that this week. Okay.
Yep.
And there's no TMI here. I mean,
okay.
No, you're just fine. Okay. Melissa, do you want to share anything about your week? I don't know if you can unmute yourself. You don't know how. That's okay. Look at her. She's trying. That's okay. Bless your heart. And Sherry, I'm not sure if we know how to. Oh, I just unmuted you. Sherry, are you there? That's okay. Okay. So with the time that we have left, oh, is that you? Okay. With the time we have left in our call. Oh, hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
It's Melissa.
Oh, it's Melissa.
Yes. I don't know what I did, but yes, it's me. Hi.
Great. Hi, Melissa. I'm so glad that we got you on two platforms.
Yeah, I don't know what I did.
That's great.
I don't know I kind of really screwed up my week now because it's my birthday tomorrow, and so my husband's going out of town, so he took me out to Red Lobster tonight.
Oh, so, yes, of course.
Yeah, so I kind of really blew it, but I actually started I started this like in the middle of last week because, well, Zena, you know this, I was in the hospital, and I started eating healthy on like Thursday, and I've been doing really well. Breakfast and lunch is really easy, but dinner gets really hard because I have my husband. And I feel bad making him eat, super healthy. And because he likes things, like it's kind of like with your husband, he likes meat and things like that. And my husband really likes like pasta and rice and all these things that are like really not good. So it's been hard, but we're working it out slowly.
Yeah, no, and Chelsea said she seconds that too. I just opened the chat. And Mika had said a couple of things before we got disconnected earlier, and I apologize I didn't get to read them. But yeah, I think it is hard. That is a really difficult situation, but I want you to know that, like, for my husband and I, like I said before, I cook our meals and he just kind of adds on something that he wants. So if Dave doesn't have time to cook, and he gets home and, dinner's ready or whatnot, then you could cook that separate thing that he can put on it. Or you could always, if you want to do a pasta, you could do like a black bean pasta or garbanzo bean pasta or brown rice pasta or something. Just taking some of those foods that he loves, those comfort foods, and maybe switching it out. And if he's just like, no, I don't like that, then you can kind of think of it as like he's eating a portion of the same meal that I'm eating. Yeah, Chelsea says, I'm trying to see food as inflammatory friendly or not. So not necessarily good or bad. I like that. And I'm working hard to better understand how different foods help or make me feel, and then eating with purpose. Girlfriend, I am like, we speak the same language. That is so awesome. I'm obsessed with that. That is like such a huge compliment, because I think I work really hard for women to see that. And just to hear you say that after week 1, that's pretty powerful. And so, so beautifully said. So thank you for sharing that. I don't know, Melissa, does that help?
Yes, it does. And he always keeps telling me, he keeps saying, well, I'll try anything once. And I know that, but then, and it's not like he doesn't need to lose weight too. We're both trying to get healthy and lose weight and everything, because my doctor's making me do it. So, he needs to too. It's just, I'm more like, let's go do it. And he's kind of like, well, I'll follow you if you want me to.
Yeah. And isn't it so true? Like, it's so much about habits and the habits that we create. And so habitually, like, we're in this position where we know that our husband likes these dishes and he likes this kind of food. So it's just easier for us to make the things that we know that they're going to enjoy. And so maybe switch it out like once a week or twice a week and try something new, or have him try something new. So what do you think about that?
Definitely.
Baby steps. I'm all about the baby steps. And I'm here to take care of you. I've seen you go through too much. I know you're a fighter and you can do anything, Miss Melissa. You
make me believe that.
Because it's true. Okay, so let's see if my screen will still let me share. And I hope you guys are in a chair somewhere where you're comfortable. I'm going to talk to you for just a second here as I share this screen. There we go. About my friend Joanna. Can everyone see the screen? Yes? Okay, great. So this little lady here, her name's Joanna Andrea, and she is my meditation guru, if you will. And I know her in real life, and we are real friends, and I've gone on meditation retreats with her and healing retreats and all sorts of new moon meditation circles and things that people might consider to be like a little strange. But what I've loved so much about my journey with Kundalini is that it fits any person. Like when I go to the Kundalini classes here in California, I mean, there's people there that are like, I met a surgeon there last week. There are people there that are moms, right? There's just this whole group of people that come together to focus on themselves and to really clear the mind, bring it back to a place where you are centered and you are very grounded in who you are and your purpose and why you're here and why you're doing this. Because as I said before, last week, every single one of you has put yourself first and you're focusing on you and your healing journey, or you wouldn't be here, right? But what I think we really need to start to uncover and like peel back the layers is like, how do we make this last? I'm not talking about the exclusivity of different food groups. I'm talking about how do we make you a part of your everyday from here forward and forever. And I think one way to do that is incorporating self-care practices. Yesterday, or was it today? Sometime in the last couple of days, I've posted my like 25 free self-care practices on the Facebook group. And those are just things that you can do like passively. You don't even have to really like set aside time by, the one we talked about where you put your hand on your doorknob or something and you send a good thought to someone, or maybe you are really focusing on having a moment in your day where there are no distractions and it's just you and you're focusing on yourself, your breath work, your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, and all of that. And that's what Kundalini Yoga does for me. It's a form of meditation that has a physical practice to it. So we're not going to get up and move around kind of yoga. But what it does do is there are different positions or things we do with our hands, and more importantly, what we do with our breath that centers the mind, centers the body. And Yogi Bhajan, he invented this practice, and Joanna just got back from India, which is so cool. And if you don't follow her on social media, you totally should. She's Wandering Wellness. And she actually is doing this really cool 40-day meditation group at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. So I've been catching the replays of those every day. But on her actual website, you can see some of the ones that are here that have already been recorded, and you can go back and kind of rewatch these. I like to do the Calm Heart, which is what we're going to do together. But my favorite is Fists of Anger. So I'm not saying that I'm an angry person, but what I will say is that Fists of Anger is so cathartic and so healing for me, because I don't even realize all that's pent up inside of me and all that I kind of take on as a woman, as a mother, as a caretaker. We as women take on the angst and the overwhelm of everyone in our circle. And most of us are fixers. Not every woman is a fixer, but I feel like most of us are fixers and we want to help everyone. And so this little Fists of Anger practice, you don't have to do it tonight, because I don't want this to be your very first Kundalini yoga is Fists of Anger, because it's a little intense. And when you do it, you might chuckle the first time. And you're going to be thinking of me doing this crazy thing with my arms. And you're going to be like, Lena's crazy. but tonight we're going to do Calm Heart. And I want us to just really focus on what, like, the words she's saying and why she's saying these things and why it's important. So hopefully we're going to be able to hear this. Let's see here. Everyone be sitting with, oops, see, I did some yesterday. Everyone should be sitting with their, somewhere in a position that's comfortable, and your feet should be just like flat on the ground, okay? You don't need to be on the floor. It's fine.
Hi, guys.
So I want to teach you a meditation today called Meditation for a Calm Heart. I feel like we could all use a little extra help.
Can you hear her?
These days? And literally this morning, my puppy ran out of our front gate and without a leash on, and down the street, and the whole neighborly circus to try and get him back into the house, which eventually happened. We all tried to remain calm, but I could really use this practice as much as maybe you can. So I wanted to share it with you. It's really simple. It's a great one to do after a stressful event or before bed if you're trying to kind of calm the energies down. So we'll tune in really quickly. In Kundalini Yoga, we always tune in using a sound code, Om Namo Guru Dev Namo.
Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo.
Inhale. Om Namo Guru Dev
Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo.
Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Inhale. And exhale. Good. So it's very simple. You take your left hand and you place it at the center of the chest. So in yoga, the center of the chest, the heart center, is where we're going, not over here, which is obviously the anatomical heart. So like this, and your fingers are flat facing towards the right. Left hand is over the heart. Your right hand comes up, and you touch your index finger and your thumb together in a gesture called Gyan Mudra. It's just a gesture of knowledge and wisdom. And then your arm is kind of right up by your shoulder, like you're taking a little pledge to your own heart. I like to think of it as that. So what you're going to do, you're going to sit up tall, long spine, lifted chest. You can certainly do this in a chair as well. You don't have to be sitting on the ground. When you're ready, you're going to take a breath in through the nose, nice, deep, full, slow breath in through the nose. When you really fill up, you're going to hold the breath now for as long as is comfortable to you. So you're stretching the hold a little bit. And then when you need to exhale, you exhale through the nose, nice and steady. Hold the navel to the spine now. Hold the breath out as long as is comfortable. And then you begin again. So you're inhaling and exhaling through the nose. You're holding the top of the inhale, and you're holding out the bottom of the exhale as long as is comfortable. We're going to go for about 3 minutes starting now. Really deep, full breaths here. There's no urgency with the breath. There's no rushing. Filling up from the bottom lobes of the lungs all the way to the top, even lifting the hand and the chest from the inside out with your breath. As you exhale, really squeezing out all of that air, releasing. For this last minute or so, just very sweet with yourself, like you're taking a pledge to your own heart, coming home to your own heart. When you're ready, inhale deep. Hold the breath. Pull the root block up. That's the rectum, sex organs, and navel up and in. Bring the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Stretch the spine a little taller. And exhale. Very good job. Release the hands. And I already feel better. I hope you do too. And you'll notice this is something you'll get a little more comfortable with. Maybe you couldn't hold the breath in for that long or out for that long. It's not a big deal. As you come back to it and practice it, you'll start to surprise yourself and impress yourself how you get better and you get stronger. So Sat Nam, thank you, and see you later.
All right. How was that?
I'm always surprised what deep breathing does, aside from anything else.
Yeah, especially like that very intentional breathing where you're so focused on it. And I think the like average person takes something like 40 to 50 breaths per minute. And Yogi Bhajan says that a healthy minute is 5 breaths. 5 breaths. Can you imagine? Like that's someone who's like very intentionally breathing and focused on those like deep inhales and slow exhales. And I love Joanna's voice too. I think she's really calming and her energy is really just like even keeled and so mild that that also is very calming to me. So 3 minutes is not hard. I know a lot of people that use the Headspace app. I recommend Insight. I also just like her website and using her meditations. If you are in an area where you could get to one of these classes in person, it's been some of the most eye-opening experiences I've ever had in my my own mental health. I've found, I think I shared this with you guys last week, that I have anxiety, and it's something like passed down from generation to generation. All the women in my family have it. But I've worked so hard at not being overwhelmed by that anxiety. And even in the days where I am very present and I have done my meditations and I am focused on positive self-talk and I've done all the right things, I still feel this almost like a piercing in my chest. That when I take in that deep breath, like at the very top of that breath, something stops me from going all the way. Like something in my chest is like piercing. But when I've gone to these Kundalini meditation classes in person, those have been the only times in my life that I have actually been able to take that full deep breath in without feeling any anxiety on that last little bit at the top. And so if you know someone with anxiety, or if you yourself have feelings of overwhelm that can sometimes take over, then I would definitely recommend that. And I think the reason why that really dissipates and melts away when I'm at the in-person class is because it's not 3 or 5 or 10 minutes. It's a full hour or sometimes 2 hours dedicated to breathing. And so I'm allowing that oxygen to really get into all of my cells, into all of my vessels all over my body. And then somehow it just like I said, it just melts that feeling of anxiety away, because there's nothing else I'm focused on but myself. And so the reason why, and I think Chelsea really made a point to this, so poignant and beautifully said, that, you know, thinking about herself was the thing that stood out to her even the most this week. It's just how excited she is, or how excited we all can be, that we are thinking of ourselves first, and that we're making time, carving time out of our day to remember that we are important and that we matter. And so I want that to be the focus of this week. So our next call on Monday, is it the 18th? Is that the next Monday? thinking from the top of my head here.
It's the 19th.
The 19th?
Yeah.
Okay. So, oh yeah, Sunday. That's right. I have something on Sunday. I was like, why is the 18th sticking out in my mind? The 19th is a night that I would like to dedicate to us, at least the beginning part anyway, to talk about our self-care and like what the week felt like to really spend and invest in ourselves. And then I'm also going to be talking about some other really healthy things you could be including in your routine that can kind of make a lasting impact on our, not just our weight loss journey, because again, this isn't about weight loss, but just on like keeping your body clean and healthy and really like focused on the things that we're putting in it. So I just got a text from my husband that said that my son was throwing up from Disneyland food. So I have to go, but he's upstairs because he like begged for the giant Mickey cookie. And I'm like, that's a big one. I was like, let's put half in the bag, but he ate the whole thing. And now he's sick to his stomach. So I better go, but thank you so much for being here tonight. I so appreciate you guys just like being so patient with me. You're so awesome. I'm so proud of you. Keep things going on the Facebook page. I think that whole energy there is just alive and beautiful, and I love it so much. And I would love to go live. Like there have been several times where I'm like, I don't know if anyone would show up or if you'd even be interested, but sometimes I'm just cooking. Would you be interested if I just like go live in the group and share what I'm doing in the kitchen, or is that not? Yeah? Yes? Okay, cool. I guess you could always watch the replay, right? You don't have to be there with me. But it's so funny when I do go live in my other group and there's no one watching it. I just feel like, oh yeah, here I am talking to myself. You know, what would my ancestors say that like are beyond the veil? They're like, what in the world is she doing? Mika says, yes. Can you also share what your version of Thanksgiving might look like? Yes. Let me write that down. Absolutely. I have some recipes, like Pinterest recipes that I love. So I'll share those on the Facebook page this week for Thanksgiving. That's such a good idea. Thank you guys. And if you have any other questions or you want to see anything else, please share it on the Facebook page because I would love to have us all interact with that too. So, and thanks for the juicer conversation and all of that. It's been so fun, but I'm going to go help the hubby upstairs. Bye guys.